Hello students, and welcome back to LearnTube. Today, we're going to dive into a super exciting mathematical journey, and we're going to solve some of the most important problems from your syllabus. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this session, you'll be solving maths problems like an absolute pro.
So, what's on the menu today? Well, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with big numbers. Then we'll jump into the fun of fractions and decimals, explore the cool world of integers, and finally we'll see how it all comes together with shapes and measurement. So, you ready? Let's get started.
All right, first up, working with big numbers. And hey, don't let the name fool you. They're not as scary as they might seem. Getting a good handle on these is basically the foundation for, well, almost everything else in math.
Okay, let's jump right in with our first problem. You see these four numbers on the screen? Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to arrange them in ascending order. You know, from the smallest to the largest. So, where do we even begin? What's the first step?
So, the secret here is to look at them one digit at a time, starting from the very left. First off, you'll notice they all have 5 digits, so that's easy. And the first two digits, 45, are exactly the same in all of them. So we move on to the next one, the hundreds place. Here we've got a 6, an 8, a 7, and another 6. Uh-oh, two numbers have a 6. No problem. We just look at the next digit for those two, the tens place. We're comparing a 7 and an 8. Since 7 is smaller, we know that 45,678 has to be our smallest number. And if we just follow that same logic, we get our final perfect order. See? Not so bad, right?
All right, get ready for this one, because I'm about to show you a super cool math trick, a shortcut that's going to save you tons of time. Look at this problem. Now, you could multiply 25 by 97, and then multiply 25 by 3, and then add those big numbers together. But honestly, who has time for that? There's a much smarter way.
The secret weapon here is something called the distributive property. First, just look for a number that's common in both parts. See it? It's 25. So we can just pull it out and rewrite the whole problem as 25 times, and in brackets, 97 plus 3. And what's 97 plus 3? That's an easy one. It's 100. So now our big, scary problem is just 25 times 100. And just like that, a simple property turned a difficult calculation into something you can do in your head. The answer is, of course, 2500.
So what was that superpower we just used? It's called the distributive property. This is a powerful shortcut in maths that lets you multiply a number by a group of numbers that are being added together. Understanding this is going to help you so much, especially when you get to algebra. So remember that formula you see on the screen? This is a really important concept, guys.
Okay, time to move on to our next section, fractions and decimals. Now think about it. When you eat one slice of a pizza that's cut into 8, you've eaten 1/8 of the whole pizza. That's a fraction. They are literally all around us, representing parts of a whole.
Okay, here's a question that trips up a lot of students, so let's pay close attention and crack it together. Adding fractions is pretty straightforward when the bottom numbers, the denominators, are the same. But what do you do when they're different? Like in this problem, 2/5 plus 3/7.
Don't worry, it's actually pretty simple once you know the steps. First things first, we need those bottom numbers to match. We do that by finding what's called the least common multiple, or LCM. For 5 and 7, that's 35. Now we convert both fractions to use 35 as the denominator. So 2/5 becomes 14/35, and 3/7 becomes 15/35. Awesome. Now the denominators match, so all we have to do is add the top numbers, the numerators. 14 plus 15 gives us 29, and our final answer is 29/35. You're doing great.
Ready for another one? Let's talk about comparing fractions. Picture this. I offer you either 3/4 of a chocolate bar or 5/6 of the same bar. Which one are you going to take? To figure out which piece is bigger, we need to compare them.
You guessed it. We're going to use that same amazing trick again. We find the LCM of the denominators, 4 and 6, which happens to be 12. Then we convert both fractions to use 12 on the bottom. So 3/4 turns into 9/12, and 5/6 turns into 10/12. And now it's super easy to compare. Is 9 bigger or is 10 bigger? Of course it's 10, which means 5/6 is the bigger fraction. So you definitely want the 5/6 of that chocolate bar.
Whoa, hold on a second, guys. If you're finding this helpful and things are starting to click, could you do 3 quick things for us at LearnTube? It just takes a second. Go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps us out. Then, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. And finally, share this with your friends and classmates who might also find it useful. Your support honestly means the world to us. Okay, now let's get back to some more awesome examples.
All right, let's dive into a whole new world, the world of integers. You know, so far, most of the numbers we've talked about have been positive, above 0. But what about when things go below 0? Think about the temperature on a really cold day, or how deep a submarine is under the sea. For that, we need negative numbers. And when you put the positive numbers, the negative numbers, and 0 all together, well, that's what we call integers.
So let's try to solve this little puzzle you see on the screen. We've got a mix of positive and negative numbers all being added up. It might look a little confusing at first, but don't worry, there's a really simple way to handle it. Okay, here's the pro strategy for this. The first thing you want to do is get all the numbers with the same sign to team up. So let's add the negative numbers together first. We have minus 15 plus minus 8, which gives us minus 23. Great, now our problem is way simpler. It's just minus 23 plus positive 23. And what happens when you add a number and its exact opposite? They cancel each other out completely, leaving us with a big ol' 0. See how easy that was?
Okay, everyone, eyes on the screen, because this table right here, it's like a cheat sheet for integers. It's super, super important. It gives you the simple rules for what to do. For example, when you multiply two numbers that have the same sign, like two negatives, your answer is always positive. Trust me, you'll want to remember these rules, especially for your exams. And for our last section, we're going to take all this math we've been learning and see how it works in the real world. We're talking about shapes and measurement. The fancy word for it is mensuration. This is where the numbers and formulas really come to life and help us solve actual practical problems you might see every day.
Let's understand this together with a real-life problem. Imagine you have a square plot of land, maybe for a garden, and each side is exactly 12 meters long. We need to figure out two things. First, what is the total area of the plot? And second, how much would it cost to cover the whole thing with tiles if each square meter of tiling costs 150 rupees?
Let's break it down step by step. First up, the area. The formula for the area of a square is one of the easiest ones to remember. It's just side multiplied by side. So we calculate 12 meters times 12 meters, which gives us 144 square meters. Perfect. Now for the cost. The formula for the total cost is the area multiplied by the rate per square meter. So all we have to do is calculate 144 times 150.
And after doing that calculation, the grand total for the cost is 21,600 rupees. Amazing! This is exactly how you do it. We took a real-world problem and solved it step by step using some simple formulas. Well done, everyone.
Wow, what a journey. We've covered big numbers, we've mastered fractions, we've tackled integers, and we've applied it all to real-world shapes. Before we go, I want to share a few golden tips for success. The absolute most important one, practice every single day. And remember, the goal is to understand the concepts, not just memorize the formulas. Always double-check your work, and please never, ever be afraid to ask for help when you're stuck.
Okay, now it's your turn. After all the examples we've gone through today, I'm really curious. Which math topic is your new favorite to solve? Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, don't forget to download the free PDF notes from the description. Please like, share, and subscribe to LearnTube for more helpful content like this. We really do read and reply to every single comment. We'll see you in the next video. Keep learning and keep growing.